Right. There you have it. Exhaust down. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, MotoJace. So for tonight's episode, we're going to do an install for my CB650R. We're doing an exhaust. I would say budget-friendly exhaust. Didn't feel like spending $700 to $1,200 on exhaust, so I wanted to give the eBay special a chance and see how it sounds. So the plan is, if I don't like it, there's a return policy for it, so I will probably return it if it doesn't work out, or if it leaks, or pretty much if I'm not happy with it. If you guys are familiar with the CB650R or the CBR650R, the exhaust comes as one piece instead of like the header, and then there's a connection for the exhaust pipe and the muffler itself. So this one is in one piece, so the only kits that you could really buy is pretty much just the, it's pretty much the whole thing. You have to get the header with the exhaust itself, so you have to replace the whole thing. I wish I could just do a slip-on, but the slip-on that they sell, you have to use the stock exhaust and cut it right after the O2 sensor, and then you have to weld the adapter so that it could go to a straight pipe straight to the muffler. I don't really want to do that because I want to keep the original exhaust, original, pretty much uncut. I was initially going to buy an exhaust system, OEM exhaust system, for $100, somewhere here in Jersey. That's another option if this one doesn't work out. Anyway, without further ado, we're going to do a sound check. Rev it up to almost red line. Packaging seems okay. They come with some hardware, and it's well bubble wrapped. It's amazing how these people could package this in a small box. 4 headers, 4 runners, and I'm guessing this would be the exhaust. This thing kind of looks like my the Grom exhaust. Brand name is KO. Welds are pretty okay. I mean, for this price, I cannot complain. Weld seems pretty good. I mean, looks pretty, it looks sturdy, but metal, it's decent. Should be a lighter exhaust than the stock. Alright, so I'm going to proceed in removing the bolts. Initially, you got to take out the radiator support. There's Allen keys or Allen bits that you have to use. I think it's a 5mm. 4 of them, I think, or 5 of them. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is the top bolt, and then 6. Actually, 6 bolts. Once those comes off, you should be able to move the radiator forward, and you should be able to access the bolts on the manifold. And then after that, we have to work on taking the O2 sensor out, which is right over here. It's a O2 sensor, so you could spin it, but the only thing is also the cable could get spun and you could actually damage the cable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove it from the connection from this side of the bike. And then after you do that, there is a bolt underneath here, which is one. And then there should be another bolt on this side, which is right under the brake lever. Once that comes off, the whole thing should be able to come off. Alright guys, so I was able to take out all the bolts for the manifold, the bolts that's holding the exhaust itself, and the O2 sensor I was able to get some slack by disconnecting it from the connector up there. I placed a box right here underneath it so that it would catch it, so it wouldn't just drop. Alright, there you have it. Exhaust down. So we just have to work on the O2 sensor. O2 sensor is a 17 mil. Okay, O2 sensor is out. It's all out. That's how it looks like, and now it's time to assemble. Okay guys, so after you remove your stock exhaust, as we know, the stock exhaust is one full system, right? There's no connection or whatsoever. It's one piece. So this KO Lightning exhaust, or I call it the eBay special, it's consisted of 3 parts, which is the exhaust, I guess this is what you call the mid pipe, and the header itself, which is the forerunners that goes into your head. So what I did was assembling it back. Sorry if I didn't get a video assembling it back. It was late night. So I'm just gonna kind of walk you through it. So what I did was you get your 4 runners, and each one of them, I mounted it individually, each one of them. So what I did was mount the 2 bolts, but I only hand tightened it. I didn't tighten it right away because I want to make sure that all of them kind of like align in place. Make sure that it's not hitting the oil pan. So after I installed the 4, like everything is moving and everything. So what I did was I started inserting it on the mid pipe. So you get 4, like the 4 tubes into the mid pipe. Once that's all aligned and set, now you could start tightening the bolts up here. So after I did that, I installed the springs, which is you get 4 springs, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and going down here, I installed the exhaust pipe, or the exhaust baffle if you want to call that, and you get also 2 springs. So everything just pretty much like slides in, and then you install the springs. This kit came with a bracket. The bracket is pretty much I would say like 10 inches or so, that pretty much went to one of the stock mounting points of the exhaust, which is right there. Okay, so you bolt that. As far as I know, the kit came with the hardware, so the bracket goes up here, and use the clamp that was supplied on the kit and bolted in there, and pretty much it's not moving or going anywhere. And then the last thing that I did was I installed the O2 sensor, which is right there. And pretty much after you do that, just make sure that nothing is leaking. Initially, after I installed the pipe, it was leaking a little bit. What my mistake was, I didn't get to tighten up the exhaust manifold bolts to the right spec. I didn't get to use a torque wrench because there's not much space in there unless you remove this whole radiator. So what I did was, I just tightened it up until like the exhaust leak went out. As far as I know, I didn't strip them, so just be careful when you're installing it. So this is with a DB killer. I tried it without, and it's too effing loud. It's just too much. So this one is the one with the baffle on it. Sounds better. Loud enough, but not too loud. Guys, that's the eBay special. If you guys like the video, please like and subscribe. Again, this is MotoJace, and peace out.